Hey folks, Justin from Tackle Tactics, here in the shed with Tackle Tactics Pro Angler Sean Beckers. We've basically just been out and whacked a few fish on an afternoon session, so stay tuned for that coming up in this video. But first we thought we'd give you a little bit of a breakdown of the session, because basically we went out there for just a bit of a fun fish, have a flick around. It was windy weather, so not great weather for fishing. So our plan was just to find some banks out of the wind and just work the edges of the banks for a flathead. So with the wind came murky water, a lot of sediment in the water, so that affected our lure presentations. What also affected our lure presentations was the fact that we were fishing deeper edges, dropping into sort of 3 to 5 meters. So you would have seen us fishing the flats a lot lately, but this was a deep water edge bite. So basically, the lure that I pulled out is a favorite for me. I'll give you a quick shot of it. This is a favorite for me when I'm fishing dirty, murky, tannin sort of water. It's the Gold Rush in a ZMan 3-inch MinnowZ. And basically it's got that dark silhouette color of the black with that lot of gold glitter in there, a lot of flash, a lot of sparkle, and it makes the most of any light we've got in those conditions that's getting through that sediment and that dirty water. And I pair it up with a 3/8 and a 3/0 in a big EyeZ Jighead, and that's the black head to give me that silhouette again, but it's got that glow eye. So it's got that bit of pop when it's down there in the water, making the most of that glow and making the most of that bit of light to give us that goldy sort of flash. So did pretty well on that, got a few fish, and at one point you've switched over to a 4-inch diesel MinnowZ in the same color. Yep. Bang, bang, got a couple straight away as well on that presentation. So that's a presentation that worked well for me. But as you'll see in the video, I got bitten off twice. I dropped a nice one beside the boat. So the lure did the job. I didn't do the job today. But Sean, on the other hand, he smacked them using a different presentation, which is also awesome on those deeper edges and also great in that dirty water. And I'll let Sean tell you why this lure is so effective. So here's a close look at this one, and then we'll hear from Sean. So there you go, folks. That's the plastic presentation that worked for me. Sean, tell us about what worked for you.
Righto, so for me, as Justin said, the weather was atrocious. Howling winds, the tides were pretty fair old ripping in and out, so I chose something that got to the bottom pretty quick and went with a 1/2 ounce Switchblade. So that's a nice pretty packet version. This is the actual one that I've done the miles on, so yep. You know, very effective, gets to the bottom really quick when you're getting on that edge bite. Like you said, picked up a lot of fish, dropped a lot of fish. The advantage of having a switch is it's got 6 points on it, so when you just want to get something stuck into them, make sure you get a hook up. It's pretty effective. So
yeah, on a variety of species too, hey?
Yeah, so probably something I've been toying around with a bit more in the last 12 months. Yeah, dewies, flathead, brim. Could quite happily eat a 1/2 ounce, which is pretty amazing. We got one that on the session, so that was pretty cool. Yeah, and then the Aussie green and gold color. It's got a nice little orange flash, so in that dirty water really lights up, and natural sort of green and gold presentation. So
and plenty of vibration to stir the fish up as well. So that switchy 1/8 ounce, 1/4 ounce, 3/8, 1/2 ounce, so a bunch of different sizes. And the 1/2 ounce is good when you're fishing those bit deeper water or whatever. How do you fish it?
Alright, so there's a bunch of ways you can fish it. For me, like it's almost like fishing a plastic. So send it right in towards the edge. You probably don't want to go as close because 6 points of hookup, you are going to get snagged pretty well. Let it get to the bottom. As soon as it hits the bottom, don't give it a quick rip, just a nice slow lift and let it like work up through the column and then drop back down. And the fish lately have been hitting it on the drop or hitting it on the paws actually. So when it's just laying flat on the ground after that initial rip off the bottom.
Hey, that vibration up triggers their alerts into what's going on, and then it's that dying flutter back down, and a lot of times they'll eat it on the drop and those fish ate it pretty well too. So good advice. You fish it like a plastic is a great starting point. Don't throw it right into the guts of snags. It's not built for that. Get your weedless plastics and that in there. And another tip I would give you is if you're running switchies, make sure you've got a set of pliers in the boat, because again you're dealing with those 6 points, those trebles.
So and for stuff like dewies and that love structure, they don't sit right on the structure anyway. They are usually just hunting around and looking for presentation. So as long as you're in the ballpark, and that slow, give them time to hone in on it. Another good thing is right in above the weight. I don't know whether you can see that well, but in here, yeah, it's just on the blade itself. You know, good smear of Procure. Everyone knows I love Procure, and no different. Just really loaded up. So on that low light,
holds the scent well, and that'll help them to pick it up, up off the bottom there.
That low light situation. So
yeah, you certainly whacked it, mate. It's been a deadly presentation for me over the years, and it's a presentation that's coming back a bit as well. You know, there were a lot of copies of that lure made over time, and a lot of the copies are starting to die off now because they don't work as effectively. That key thing with that is, like you say, you're doing a slow lift. So a lot of the cheaper, dodgy blades didn't swim on a slow retrieve, whereas that'll start kicking straight away. And also, if you want to fish it fast or give it a rip, it doesn't blow out like they do as well. Decent hooks and all that ready to go out of the packet. So there you go. If you find yourself in the wind and you've got to go and hunt some new banks and fish some new banks, don't forget those deeper drop-off edges. And don't forget to have a couple of those presentations with you as well, which could get you hooked up.
Very good.
All good. We'll cut to the video, check it out, bit of a laugh, couple of mates fishing and getting into a few fish as well. Little tiny bit of wind noise at the start when it was pretty horrible, and gradually dropped off a bit through the Arvo. So, all right, all the best. We'll see you on the water.
Get out there.
Fish on.
Yew! Flatfish is on. You need that? No. Net is down.
Get me off.
Oh yeah, nicely done.
He ate that off the bottom. That was cool, eh? Just sitting there, bomb ate it. Yeah, probably flatfish, but that was cool. I gave it the hop hop and it just sitting there with that tail up in the water movement. And yeah, he's solid. He was just sitting there with the tail up and boom. Hopefully he doesn't bite me off. Come on, buddy. We just want to have a look at you. Oh yeah, he's nice. Oh! See him spit it out. Oh, he was solid. I think he got taken up and unhooked. Look. Oh man, he was probably the one I got last time. He looked about 70, eh? What is it with throwing the big ones back lately? We only want a photo, dude. That was the one we wanted.
We might have just jinxed my boat, mate. Like, it could have happened, you know.
It's one of my favourite colours in windy conditions too. When the water gets stirred up and kind of holding a lot of sediment.
Yeah. Like today.
Yeah. When it gets windy and it gets sedimenty, they love that colour later. Ah, well. Get another rattle. Big one? My one? Oh, he's a nice one. On the winning colour. He's cool.
Yeah.
He's away. Whoa, Jighead. Hey, buddy. Yeah. I thought it was a submarine at first, but yeah, it's just a Jighead.
Hey, you find him again?
I don't think he's that big. Oh, bit me off.
Oh, did he?
I'm going well.
Had a spit, had a bottom.
Yeah, that'd be. Had a bit to it, eh? That one, actually, but anyway. It's a solid bite off too.
Yep.
Hopefully that's got my lure in it.
Maybe.
Brimbo.
Brimbo on the switchy.
That's a ½ ounce, yeah?
Yeah.
Jeez, he's keen. Solid Brimbo.
Oh,
And get a rattle.
that was such a good hit. It was just like a bang and then dropped it.
Yeah. Came back. Fish on. Pocket rocket.
That was the same fish. Oh my god, what a hit.
Yeah, drilling them. Early release. Yeah, that's good, mate, eh? Turn over some numbers. There's got to be a big girl in amongst them.
I reckon that's
Probably the one that I shook off.
took off before.
Yeah, gold rush, eh? That sediment's in the water. When you got that wind and that stuff and it's just real thick, soupy looking, it's just such a good colour. Wimbo, giant flathead, epic swamp monster. Nice flatfish. Nice flatfish. Good job, Bob.
On the switchy.
That's crazy, that switchblade just keeps catching, eh? Nice tail spot, man, on that one. On?
Yep.
Nice.
What it is. Played up yet.
There it is. What are you on there?
Flat. Not a monster, but definitely.
Oh, that's a thumper. The switchblade again, mate. It's a nice bloody, eh?
Yeah.
That's a cracker.
How good is that?
Yeah.
And I'll put him on that.
That got eaten on the drop, eh? Did not even twitch it, he just inhaled it as it sunk.
Is that on your gold rush?
Yeah.
Isn't it? Is it growing?
Yeah. It's epic.
Is that big?
Is it a cod or something?
Putting some weight on it.
Yeah. Flatfish? Oh yeah, nice flatfish.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that India.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
That is a respectable fish, man. How good's that?
I didn't even get to hop it. He just ate it as it sunk.
You look at all the legals we would have had today.
Oh yeah.
I had a feed for each of us and some.
Yeah, that's a good fish.
Get a couple of photos of it. Just...
Holy, scoffed it.
Yeah. Fuck yeah.
Plonked it, eh?
That is awesome.
Right away. Fish on.